The Menendez brothers, 10 shocking and scandalous facts.
The Menendez brothers, Lyle and Erik, are infamous for the brutal murder of their wealthy parents, José and Kitty Menendez, in Beverly Hills in 1989. The case shocked the nation with its mix of wealth, violence, and allegations of abuse. Their story is marked by dramatic twists in court, public opinion, and a media frenzy that transformed their trials into a spectacle. Here, we explore 10 of the most scandalous and shocking facts about the Menendez brothers, delving into their childhood, the crime, and the aftermath.
Fact number 1.
A troubled childhood behind closed doors. Lyle, born January 10, 1968, in New York City, and Erik, born November 27, 1970, in Gloucester Township, New Jersey, Menendez were raised in a family that appeared idyllic from the outside. Their father, José Menendez, was a self-made Cuban immigrant who became a wealthy executive in the entertainment industry, known for his high-profile roles at RCA and later at Live Entertainment. He had an authoritarian parenting style, reportedly demanding perfection from his sons and punishing them harshly for perceived failures. Their mother, Mary Louise Kitty Menendez, struggled with mental health issues, including depression and reported substance abuse. Behind their privileged lifestyle, Lyle and Erik later described a life marred by physical, emotional, and sexual abuse inflicted by their father.
In court, they alleged their father would repeatedly assault them, while their mother ignored or even enabled the abuse.
These allegations polarized the nation during their trial, forcing the public to confront unsettling questions about family violence, privilege, and justice.
Number 2.
The gruesome night, murder in Beverly Hills.
On the night of August 20, 1989, the Menendez family home on Elm Drive in Beverly Hills became the scene of a horrific double homicide. José and Kitty Menendez were shot to death while watching television.
José suffered multiple gunshot wounds, including a fatal shot to the back of the head, which investigators described as execution style. Kitty, who reportedly tried to escape, was shot several times in the face, chest, and arms, leaving her nearly unrecognizable. The scene was so violent that police initially suspected a mob hit. Lyle and Erik called 911 later that night, hysterically claiming they had discovered their parents' bodies upon returning from a movie. However, inconsistencies in their stories and their calm demeanor in the weeks following the murders raised suspicions. The brutality of the crime and the affluent status of the victims quickly drew national attention.
Number 3. Spending spree after the murders.
In the months following the murders, Lyle and Erik spent over $1 million of their inheritance on extravagant luxuries. Lyle purchased a $64,000 Porsche 911, designer watches, and a restaurant in Princeton, New Jersey. Erik, a competitive tennis player, spent tens of thousands on personal trainers, luxury tennis equipment, and international trips.
They moved into luxury condominiums and spent lavishly on clothes and entertainment.
This sudden and conspicuous spending shocked friends and investigators alike, as it seemed incongruous with their roles as grieving sons. The brothers' apparent indifference to their parents' deaths became a key factor in their eventual arrest. Detectives pieced together their spending habits as evidence of a motive, arguing that financial gain was the driving force behind the murders.
Number 4. A confession sealed by a therapist's tape.
Erik's confession to Dr. Jerome Oziel, his therapist, became the linchpin of the prosecution's case. In October 1989, during a therapy session, Erik admitted to the murders in vivid detail, describing how he and Lyle planned and executed the killings. Unbeknownst to the brothers, Dr. Oziel recorded their sessions after Lyle reportedly threatened him. These tapes contain damning evidence, including discussions of their motives and the events of that night. A protracted legal battle ensued over whether the tapes violated doctor-patient privilege. In a landmark decision, the California Supreme Court allowed parts of the recordings to be used in court, arguing that threats made by Lyle negated confidentiality. These tapes revealed the calculated nature of the crime, significantly strengthening the prosecution's case.
Number 5.
The emotional testimonies and allegations of abuse.
During their trial, the brothers delivered tearful testimonies about years of alleged abuse at the hands of their father.
Lyle described being molested from the age of 6, while Erik detailed similar experiences during his teenage years. The brothers painted José as a controlling and abusive figure who demanded perfection and used violence to enforce it. Their mother, Kitty, was portrayed as complicit, unwilling or unable to protect them due to her own struggles with mental health. Defense attorneys used these allegations to argue that the killings were acts of desperation, fearing imminent harm from their father. While some jurors found the abuse allegations credible, others dismissed them as a strategy to garner sympathy, contributing to the deadlocked verdict in the first trial.
Number 6. The Trials, a Media Circus.
The Menendez case was among the first trials broadcast live on court TV, captivating millions across the country.
Viewers tuned in daily to watch the drama unfold, with the brothers' privileged background and shocking allegations making headlines.
The case became a cultural phenomenon, with extensive media coverage analyzing every twist and turn. Public opinion was divided, with some viewers sympathizing with the brothers due to the abuse claims, while others saw them as cold-blooded killers. The trial underscored the growing influence of media on public perception of justice, as the courtroom became a stage for sensational storytelling.
Number 7. 2 hung juries in retrials.
The first trial, which began in July 1993, ended with 2 hung juries in January 1994. Jurors were divided over whether the brothers' claims of abuse warranted leniency or if they were guilty of premeditated murder. The retrial, held in 1996, was markedly different. Judge Stanley Weisberg ruled that evidence of abuse could not be used to justify the killings, significantly narrowing the defense's strategy. This time, the jury convicted Lyle and Erik of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. In 1997, the brothers were sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, bringing an end to the legal saga.
Number 8. Imprisoned but still in the spotlight.
Even in prison, the Menendez brothers have continued to intrigue the public. Lyle became a counselor for fellow inmates, working on conflict resolution and helping others adjust to prison life.
Erik facilitated rehabilitation programs and reportedly worked with terminally ill inmates.
Their personal lives also drew attention. Lyle married Anna Erickson in 1996, but the marriage ended in 2001 after she discovered he was corresponding with other women. Erik married Tammy Saccoman in 1999, who described their union as a different kind of prison love story. These relationships kept the brothers in the media spotlight, showcasing their ongoing ability to attract fascination and controversy.
Number 9. The renewed interest, TikTok and the Generation Z phenomenon.
Decades after their conviction, the Menendez brothers have found an unlikely resurgence of support on TikTok, where younger audiences dissect their case. Gen Z users frequently discuss the abuse allegations, with many arguing that the brothers' actions were a reaction to years of trauma. Hashtags like Menendez Brothers and Justice for Menendez have garnered millions of views, reflecting a shift in attitudes toward abuse and its psychological impacts. This newfound attention has led to calls for the brothers' sentences to be re-evaluated, though legal experts remain skeptical about the possibility of any retrial or leniency.
Number 10.
A continuing legacy of legal and ethical debates. The Menendez case remains a focal point for discussions on legal ethics, family trauma, and media sensationalism. Critics argue that the brothers exploited abuse allegations to manipulate public sympathy, while others believe their upbringing left them irreparably damaged. The case continues to be cited in legal circles as an example of the complexities involved in balancing evidence of abuse with acts of violence. As one of the most infamous family murders in American history, the Menendez brothers' story serves as a haunting reminder of the hidden turmoil that can exist behind even the most seemingly perfect facades.